For the first time since 2016, Victor Robles finished a season in the minor leagues. He wasn't on a rehab assignment due to injury, nor did the Nationals manage to trade for Mike Trout. He simply underperformed. This result is pretty shocking after Robles had a special rookie season in 2019 at age 22 and seemed poised to become the Nationals center fielder of the future. Well, it's 2022, and that didn't quite happen. 2020 was a complete disaster of a season for a lot of guys, including Robles. But while a lot of those players bounced back in 21, Robles did not. He really struggled and had his starting job taken by Lane Thomas late in the season. In order to get it back, he'll need to implement some major adjustments, especially at the plate. And I'm going to look into the numbers to figure out the best plan to get Robles back into the starting lineup and productive. First, let's take a look at his 2019 season. Robles played in 155 games in 2019, slashing .255, .326, and .419, with 17 homers for a 92 WRC+. Not necessarily the greatest hitting numbers, but at 22 years old and having the responsibility of defending in center field, this should have been a good sign. Especially when you look at the defense. I feel like we should talk about this season more because it may be the greatest defensive season ever by a National, and that's not hyperbole. Robles was third in StatCast's outs above average with 23, behind only Javi Baez and Francisco Lindor. He was first in OAA among outfielders, and the only one who was remotely close was Kevin Kiermaier with 17. Don't like outs above average? He had 25 defensive runs saved. He saved 25 runs by himself. That's off the chart on Fangraphs. Literally. It only goes to plus 15. He had 10 more than that. Didn't win the Gold Glove though. Lorenzo Cain won it. Listen, I like Lorenzo Cain and I think he had a great season in 2019, but he wasn't better than Victor Robles in the outfield. Stats support it, eye test shows it, L+ ratio. Okay, we've said some positive things about Victor, which is good because I'm about to start saying some unflattering things about his skill set. However, to keep from piling on too much, every time I say something mean or use a stat that supports my narrative, I will then say something nice about Victor Robles. Because at the end of the day, I really want him to get better and become an everyday player again. Unfortunately, the 2020 season seemed to stunt Robles' growth, in certain ways. He came to the season bulked up as a means to take advantage of his improving power numbers from 2019, but this only hurt his other attributes. He was a minus defender in center field, and he stole just 4 bases in 52 games. He only hit .220 for the shortened season with an OBP under 300. His batting average dropped to the Mendoza line in 2021, and he had absolutely no power, hitting only 2 dingers in 369 plate appearances. One off of Dick Mountain though, so I guess that's cool. He was plain bad. But on the flip side, he's a very handsome gentleman that seems fun to be around. Dig a little deeper into the stats and you'll find out what's wrong. It's very evident that Robles has been trying an extreme launch angle approach, and if he hasn't been doing that, then that's even more deeply concerning. Robles had an average launch angle of 19.9 degrees. To give some context, you know that Joey Gallo guy? Big, beastly power hitting outfielder that crushes mammoth home runs. Average launch angle was 22.2 degrees in 2021, a negligible difference between the launch angles of he and Robles. Joey Gallo hit 38 home runs. Victor Robles hit 2. That's not gonna cut it. You see, launch angle is only as important as a player's average exit velocity. Fly balls have the best expected power numbers, but the lowest expected batting average numbers of any batted ball type, meaning that you need to hit home runs when you hit fly balls for a high launch angle approach to be effective. Victor Robles was in the bottom 1% of this category, literally last place in the league. Can you see the problem with that? And here's a kicker. His batted ball data from 2021 shows that 19% of his balls put into play were infield pop-ups. Nearly 1 in every 5 hit balls, just straight up in the air. That's atrocious. But the thing is, he's very good with animals. See that? I think Victor Robles just needs a change in his approach to become a productive player again. First adjustment, drop the launch angle. I want to see Victor Robles with a single-digit launch angle next season. Not every player can be a launch angle power guy that strikes out 300 times per season. Besides his defense, Robles' best tool is his speed. So let's put the ball in play and put some pressure on the defense. I want to see Robles get aggressive at the plate, not in terms of power, but in terms of contact. Victor Robles is not a power hitter, okay? The quicker we accept that, the quicker we fix the root of the problem. His swings from 2021 were powerful enough to cause gale force winds sometimes. We don't need all that. We've got to get creative to get this guy on base. At this point in his career, it doesn't seem like Robles can walk enough to be productive with his current approach. His walk rate actually did increase in 2021, but obviously it came at the expense of his bat-to-ball skills. Plus, if he really wants to get on base, he can always just rely on his special talent, getting hit by pitches. I'm going to say something that I never thought I'd say. It's going to be hard, but I think it needs to be said. I want Victor Robles to walk less. Sorry, that was my body rejecting what I just said. Robles took a much more passive approach in 2021, and it was almost like he was scared to swing the bat sometimes. He doesn't really command the strike zone very well, meaning pretty much any part of the zone is fair game for the pitcher. And to me, it seemed like he was playing too much into increasing his on-base percentage through walking. He struck out looking a lot, if that tells you anything. But he also has just a wonderful smile. I mean, look at that smile. Come on, guys. My solution for Robles is to try and flatten out and shorten his swing to lower his average launch angle. Remember, fly balls that aren't homers are outs, but line drives that aren't homers are usually hits. This should even help Victor when he doesn't hit the ball hard. It'll turn those infield pop-ups into bloopers and soft line drives that can drop in behind the infield more often. And when he hits those hard line drives, it may even increase his power. No, not in terms of home run power, but gap power. Doubles and triples galore, baby, I can see it now. Oh, I guess I can't because we're still in a lockout. Regardless of where you stand on Robles, the bottom line is that a change needs to be made at the plate. It's very obvious that he can't continue to keep a starting spot on a major league roster while hitting this poorly, and now he's even got some pressure behind him and in front of him. However, as fans, I think we should rein in the expectations. Yes, Victor Robles was one of the Nationals' most hyped prospects in recent years, and he's displayed all 5 tools at the minor league level. He could still reach that potential, not saying he couldn't, but I think we should be more surprised by that if it happens rather than expecting it. If Robles defends in center field like we know he can, and just be a decent hitter, we can live with that. I hope he turns it around this year. His 2019 season was so fun to watch, and he can help bring some energy to a club that'll certainly need it.